Listen, dramatic week in the Dales, hasn't it?
That's one word for it.
Well, yeah. Well, we've been all playing detective, really, haven't we? We're armchair detectives. All these hints, red herrings and clues as to who killed Graham. But last night, the face behind the mysterious murderer, spoiler alert, by the way, in case you've got it recorded, was finally revealed.
Da, da, da.
Well, we weren't expecting that, Jonathan, rather.
No, you and many folk.
Well, are people disappointed? Because we're all going, I think it's them. All week we've been following everybody's story.
Do you think people feel a little duped? Because all week it's been like a Groundhog Day, isn't it?
Yeah.
Every day. But it still could be any of those contenders. Just because we've seen me.
Just because you've seen you doesn't... Oh.
Oh, yes.
Well, we don't know.
Just because we've seen you and we
yeah.
haven't seen you for 2 years, just to explain...
We might find out tonight.
Right.
Tonight's the night.
We might do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, well, where has your character, Pierce Harris, been?
He's been in prison.
Why?
Because approximately 2.5 years ago, was it now?
Yeah.
He was convicted and sent down for raping Rona,
His wife.
his wife.
So I know this and brings the benefit
Oh, right,
of the
just saying.
viewers at home.
So that's where he's been. I think he believes he's been rehabilitating himself somewhat. He has. He's been
Why
trying to
is he
get into a
back?
better place. He is. He feels.
You're interviewing him like a police officer. Why is he back then?
Tell me
Feeling
this.
very on the back foot here. He's on a crusade to save Rona from Graham.
Well, everyone seems to... Marlon wants to save Rona from Graham.
They've all got it in for
They've
him.
all
He's
got-
burned a few bridges, hasn't he?
Yeah. What's Piers got against him, then?
Well, we find out tonight what happened, because tonight's Groundhog Day is kind of Pierce's Groundhog Day, and as part of the sequences are shown in flashback, so we get a bit of backstory as to where we get to the point that we're at just
No,
now.
it's a really good way of doing all of this, and it keeps the viewers sort of double guessing and everybody involved. It's quite complex. What about the actors themselves? Is it one, you know, often you hear about movies and there are two ending shot, or it could be one of two people or whatever. Do you guys, or did you guys all know as you were filming your various stories?
What was going to happen? Well, because there was so much secrecy shrouding the whole event, so I even had an alias in the script. Half the cast didn't even know I was there for about the first, I don't know,
Well, were they
3
sneaking
weeks or
around
so.
with a bag over your head or something?
Yeah, and I was sneaking in the kind of side entrance to the studios. First few weeks we were on this amazing location, which looks fabulous on screen, and it was all shot with different cameras, so it's quite cinematic and very atmospheric. So a lot of people didn't even know I was there. And when they were reading Mark TBA, which was my alias in the script, no one really twigged who it was for quite some time, even cast, like I say. So, and it was all kind of kept a secret within the building and everywhere else. And I think it's kind of worked out. You know, it was a bit of a shock to
You
most
said it's
folk.
like a Groundhog Day, so each night we've seen the start of the day, Graham's
Through
day,
different
with
people's
all these
eyes.
different suspects, and then tonight we see you. So let's have a look at that.
I told you not to come here.
Yeah? Big mistake. I spent 2 years in prison, avoiding the thugs and the bullies, the psychos and the idiots. I'm not going to be threatened by one now. What is the point of you? Honestly, I just don't get it. Ex-army turned school caretaker, bit of a career change there. And then head of security for Waterhouse International, and now you're Kim Tate's gopher.
What was it actually like coming back as an actor after a big break?
It was great. It was really lovely. It's like putting on an old pair of slippers coming back to that show. I enjoyed it so much first time round, and then coming back, I think, was even better somehow. It was just great, you know, seeing all those faces. And I mean, when I was first approached in the summer of last year, our producer, Jane Hudson, I was kind of pumping her to ask, explain what was going to be involved. And she couldn't really tell me very much because, first of all, I hadn't agreed to do it. And second of all, a lot of it hadn't been scripted. It'd just been sort of roughly sketched and storylined. Yes. And then it kind of changed in the interim as well. So it was a bit of a leap of faith. But going back, my first question was, do I get to work with Zoe Henry? Am I with the old team, the old crowd? And she went, yes. And I just said, count me in. I'm there, so it was just lovely to be back.
So can you say how long Piers might be back for? Is that giving too much away? I don't want to spoil things for people.
Too much away.
Okay.
But
should Rona be worried?
Everyone should be a little worried.
Oh.
Everyone needs to be watching their backs, I think.
Oh.
I'm not saying he's on a rampage, but he has something to prove. He has something in mind. There's a logic to everything that Piers does. It's a skewed logic, but he's like I said, he's very intent on rescuing Rona, that's his crusade, from this man who's clearly violent and dangerous. So that's his main priority.
As was Piers violent.
Exactly, so he knows these people.
Exactly. Good guy.
He does now, because he's rehabilitated, of course. And so he feels he's kind of this is how he can repent, and this is how he can make amends, make things better. It's the least he can do. So in many ways, he feels like a victim of circumstance, and this catalogue of events happens, and it turns into a maelstrom of twists and turns.
And a lot of twisting and turning going on.
A lot of twisting and turning.
Who actually killed Graham? Right. Well, we're going to find out. We're going to find out tonight.
We definitely find out tonight.
On Emmerdale.
Yes.
We do.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Good. So we haven't given anything away.
No.
As it turns out.
No,
Good.
no spoilers.